prefatory remarks. First of all, I want to thank the President for allowing his generosity to outstrip his judgment. It's very becoming in any academic. And secondly, as I said to the faculty a little earlier, I feel a little like Stravinsky's Firebird in this role, but it was given to me when I left Riverside Church. So I trust there's no grim Calvinist in the crowd when he gets free. And thirdly, and most importantly, I'm really very moved to be here, really sort of for two reasons. This college was founded, as you all know, I'm sure, in 1862, in the middle of the Civil War. And in the little village where I come from, Vermont, Senator Morrow, in 1862, passed legislation for land-grant colleges across America. And those two acts, the founding of Lakeland and that legislation, strikes me as an incredible faith in the future, in the darkest hour of American history. I also think driving here today that this, to a decadent Easterner, really represents the heartland. I mean, I was going past one of these wonderful farms after another. And you know, I've always felt those furthest from the seats of power are nearest to the heart of things. And I don't think we can get much further than this. Lakeland College, so I'm going to try it. Being a prompt ahead of whiskey. So, for those reasons, I'm particularly happy to be here. Now, Lev Tolstoy, the great Russian novelist, once said, certain questions are put to us, not that we would answer them, but that we would spend a lifetime wrestling with them. And it seems to me that one very good question, you're a very good photographer, so I'm sure one more and that'll be So I have selected a question which seems to me is worthy of a lifetime of wrestling, and that is, who tells you who you are? Let me illustrate. As the President said, I was for 18 years chaplain at Yale University. And it was natural that graduating seniors going on to graduate degrees, who hadn't realized that education kills by degrees, should come to the chaplain for letters of recommendation. And brilliant letters of recommendation I wrote, if I may say so myself, and to such highfalutin institutions of higher education as, let's say, the Columbia Law School or the Harvard Medical School, I would often write, dear Dean of Admissions, this candidate will undoubtedly be in the bottom quarter of your class. But surely you will agree with me that the bottom quarter should be as carefully selected as the top quarter. And for what would you be looking in the bottom quarter of the class, if not for somebody who embodies the sterling extracurricular qualities of this candidate, and I would list them, will not seek private gain, but will serve the common good, is conscientious, tries to love his or her neighbor, etc., etc. Then I would show the letter to the student. Now, you're not going to believe it, but invariably their feelings were hurt. How do you know I'm going to be in the bottom quarter of the class? Well, all the evidence is in. Well, you didn't have to tell them. Now, you see what's going on? Just to get into a place like Yale, you probably have to be in the 99.6 percentile. To graduate in the 99.7 percentile. To get into a highfalutin institution of higher education, like the Columbia Law School or Harvard Medical School, you have to be in the 99.8 percentile, and simply because I did not say they were going to be in the 99.9 percentile, they thought they were failures. Never mind that I said said they were conscientious, loving, concerned with their neighbor's good, would not seek private gain but rather the common good. Such is the power of institutions of higher education to tell you who you are. Some of you may even have the benighted notion that graduating from Lakeland isn't quite the same as graduating from some other place. Forget it. Institutions of higher education cannot tell you who you are. I'll be very dogmatic. Now, some people need money to tell them who they are. I'm always interested that Americans always think they're overtaxed, which is a bit of surpassing nonsense when you compare them to other countries. But then the whole country was founded on a tax revolt, so this is to be expected. But what is interesting is that those who can most easily afford to pay taxes are most reluctant to do so. Now, they will give to charity. President Black knows what this is all about. Because charity reminds them, my money is power. While taxes are like Delilah's shears. They come along cutting at the root of Samson's strength, revealing the underlying equality with other human beings. Some people need power to tell them who they are. Abraham Lincoln, when he was in the House of Representatives, declared the war against Mexico unnecessary and unconstitutional. And for saying that, he lost his seat in the House of Representatives. Well, how many Abraham Lincolns do we have in the American Congress? People who are quite willing to commit political suicide for the sake of some really deep and honest conviction. Some people need enemies to tell them who they are. Too many whites still need blacks. Some blacks need whites. Straights need gays. Some men still need women. Some fierce feminists, and I'm very much on the side of feminists. For me, a feminist is somebody who refuses to be a masochist. It's just that simple. There's some who need men to tell them who they are. And believe me, when the Berlin Wall came down, any communists in our country were in a terrible plight because they needed communists to tell them who they were. I'm in the right state to make this point. Well, fortunately, they managed to elevate liberals to the status of communists, so they found new enemies to tell them. But it works on both sides. Some of you here, a little younger than I am, or my age, will remember that on March 31st, 1968, in the middle of the war in Vietnam, President Johnson announced he would not stand for re-election in the fall. 500,000 people in the anti-war movement in America lost their identity. Who are we? Without Lyndon B. Johnson. Fortunately, Richard Nixon came along.